Hello, today we are going to draw a sketch uh, about the workflow of our simple audio player and we try to understand its workflow. Okay. Here in our main function we begin a thread which is called decode thread. This decode thread parses the file. This function is a parser function. It reads the file and retrieves packets. Remember, packets are the packed data, not raw audio video data. So it reads the file and fills our packet here. See the loop. If it is not quitted, it runs forever until a read frame returns false. This function returns false when it is end of the file, so it will read file until its end, and if we reach our packet queue size, maximum size, it sleeps. When we remove packets from packet queue, when we get packet, remember we remove packets from the queue, then it works again. It has its own flow and it starts here with begin thread X. Okay, let's see the diagram. We have file, we have parser, and we read packet and put it in the packet queue. This is what decode thread is doing. Actually, it's not decoding, it's just reading, parsing, and putting in the packet queue. Okay, so these code, schedule refresh, and these STL events, do we need them? These are actually for video and for syncing video and audio, so actually we don't need them. Why? Because remember we init STL here and we init STL here, and also in stream component open, we make everything ready for STL, make the config and leave the STL in pause state, in silence mode, and STL is actually ready here. It's waiting for us to put some packets. Okay, and when we begin feeding it with data, it will play. It will render and play the data. So this is where we begin things, not here. We also don't need this schedule refresh. We don't need this either. Okay, timer refresh. Actually we don't need this. Do we have to init STL timer. Let's check. It's working now. Where is STL timer? Let's remove this and try it again, because we won't need STL events, refresh event. You see? Okay, this is good. These parts I've forgot to remove from the code. Okay, and now we have removed them. We init audio and everything is ready. And we make the configuration and put the STL in pause state. Okay, here opens and starts STL, and we make it ready here. So STL is ready, and when we begin our thread here, the code thread, we begin feeding STL callbacks with data. So in our diagram here, this is the code thread. What it is doing: feeding STL with data. There is another flow. It is actually STL's own flow. We only know its callback because we registered some function to its callback. Okay. In this callback, what we do, okay, here we decode audio frame, put it in our buffer, and we put data in STL buffer as much as it wants. Okay, here what we do first, we and in the code audio frame we have to get some packet first. Here, let's make this bigger. We get packet. We get packet here, and then we decode it. Decode packet. When we decode packet, what we have, we have decoded frames, raw audio data. We move them to our local buffer here. No, there is some other action. What is it? After we decode, we make resampling. Before we put it in our local buffer, we make resampling. Code packets. what we have here is samples. Samples are the raw audio data. And here we make pre-sample. Again we have samples. Then we put these samples in our local buffer. These are all performing in the callback action, and then we copy data from our local buffer to, again these are samples, and what is this? This is STL buffer. How much data we copy? We copy data as much as STL buffer wants. Okay, this is the flow of STL. This is the STL callback flow. Okay. These two flows have something in common. What is it? It is our global video state, and this video state is the parameter we have put to our STL callback function here. So what is in common is the video state structure. And remember, this structure have all the necessary data and information, includes all info and data we need. Sorry, video state. Okay, we have our file. We have a read frame function, reading and parsing file and retrieving the packet. We put the packet in the packet queue, and this is all the code thread do, and it has its own loop. It works, it works when we start the thread, here, and it works until some quit event or end of file is reached. Also, it pauses if we reach our packet queue size. So when STL begins to run with STL open audio here, and we make it initially silence here. Then it callback begins to run, and when its callback runs, our registered function begins to work. We get packet from packet queue, we decode the packet, we get samples here, we resample them, and we put them in our local buffer. Then in some loop we copy samples to STL buffer as much as it wants. This is all going on when we run our code. Okay, and let me show you some other thing. What happens? There are some other files. See, let's change the file to some MP3 file. Okay, we retrieve the audio stream from video file. Now we are going to play some audio file. There is no video stream in it. It is all okay. Okay, then let's move to some other file. It's a movie. See what happens. We don't hear anything. Something is going on here, but we don't hear anything. Why? Okay, let's have a look to this file. Okay, it has its video stream mpeg4 AVC. There is an audio stream also. There is another audio stream, subtitle streams. Okay, for example, let's check it with ffplay. ffplay also uses STL.
Hello and welcome to the Death Wish Director's Commentary. I am Director Eli Roth, and I am joined by the legendary producer
Also,
extraordinaire, Mr. Roger
some
Bergel.
subtitles.
Nice to
here.
meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
We can hear it on ffplay, but we cannot hear on our code. Why? Why is that? Okay, you see, there are. Let it play with VLC also. That is not will be more. You see here, there are two audio streams, as we see in media info. There is one audio stream here. There is another audio stream here. The difference between these audio streams, audio stream 1, which we get in the first, remember our code here. While we are looping through audio streams, when we found some audio stream, remember when we found it is bigger than 0, we get it and we move. Okay, When we found some audio stream, we played. Most probably we found the audio stream with 6 channels. However, our device is stereo and our output, we wanted single channel, 2 channels here, 2 channels. So we cannot, we haven't converted, we haven't down mixed the audio, so we cannot play 6 channels as it is 2 channels. But what we can do, we can check for 2 channels audio, which is audio number 2, and play it. And there is been a piece of code, where is it? Main function here. What it says, if it says that if audio channels number is more than 2, continue, don't get this string index, it continues from here. If is not bigger than 2, then it will get the audio stream. Okay, let's run it now.
Hello and welcome to the Death Wish Director's Commentary. I am Director Eli Roth, and I am joined by the legendary producer extraordinaire, Mr. Roger Birnbaum.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Okay. Now we understand what is here and how our code works. Thank you.